Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're diving into a legend that is as bizarre as it is terrifying, the pig shapeshifter. Now, we've all heard of werewolves and vampires, but there's something uniquely unsettling about a creature that mimics a common farm animal before turning into something far more sinister. Across various cultures, stories have persisted of men and women who could shed their human skin to become massive, tusked beasts that roam the night. It's a tale that turns the familiar into a nightmare, and tonight we're going to find out why this legend has such a tight grip on our collective fears. So grab a seat, turn down the lights, and let's get into the origins of this strange myth. The roots of the pig shapeshifter, or the pig man in some traditions, go back centuries, often found in deep rural areas where livestock is the lifeblood of the community. In European folklore, particularly in the British Isles and parts of France, there were whispers of pig folk, beings cursed by witchcraft or divine punishment to live as swine. These weren't just ordinary pigs. They were said to possess human-like intelligence and a taste for more than just grain. People believed that if you crossed the wrong person, they might return at night, not as a neighbor, but as a squealing, heavy-breathing beast outside your window, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Picture this. It's past midnight, and you're driving down a long, winding country road. The only light comes from your headlights, cutting through a thick blanket of fog. Suddenly, you see something standing in the middle of the road. At first, you think it's just a stray farm animal, maybe a large hog that escaped a pen. But as you get closer, you realize the proportions are all wrong. It stands too tall, its shoulders are too broad, and instead of 4 hooves, it seems to be balanced on 2 thick, muscular legs. This is the classic setting for a pig shapeshifter encounter, a moment where the mundane reality of rural life twists into something completely unrecognizable and threatening. Witnesses who claim to have seen these creatures often describe a smell first, a heavy, cloying scent of wet fur and decay that hits you before you even see the beast. Then comes the sound. It's not just a pig's grunt, it's a wet, guttural breathing that sounds almost like a person struggling to speak through a mask. They describe the eyes as being chillingly human, reflecting the light with an intelligence that a common animal simply doesn't have. This blend of the human and the porcine creates what psychologists call the uncanny valley, where something looks almost like us, but just different enough to trigger a deep-seated survival instinct of pure dread. One of the most famous variations of this legend comes from the Philippines, known as the sigbin, or certain types of aswang. These creatures are often described as being able to shapeshift into many forms, but the pig is one of the most common and feared. Legend says they are the pets of powerful witches, or are the witches themselves. During the day, they look like your average neighbor, someone you might wave to or share a meal with. But as the sun sets, their bodies contort, their skin toughens, and they set out to hunt. The idea that a monster could be someone you know, hiding in plain sight as a simple animal, is what makes this legend so particularly haunting for those who live in these regions. The actual process of transformation is where the stories get truly graphic. Folklore often describes the sound of bones snapping and reforming, and the skin stretching until it turns a pale, sickly gray or a dark, bristly black. Imagine the horror of seeing a person fall to all fours as their face elongates into a snout, their fingers fusing into cloven hooves. This isn't a quick, cinematic transition. It's described as a painful, visceral experience. This physical suffering is often linked to the idea of a curse, that the shapeshifter is a victim of their own dark magic, or a punishment that forces them to lose their humanity night after night, leaving them trapped between 2 worlds. Why a pig, though? Why not a wolf or a lion? Well, pigs have a complex relationship with humans. They are highly intelligent, arguably more so than dogs, and their internal anatomy is surprisingly similar to our own. Throughout history, they've been symbols of both gluttony and fertility, but also of something unclean. By choosing the pig as the form for a shapeshifter, these legends tap into a fear of the beast within, the idea that underneath our symbolized exterior lies an animalistic hunger. The pig shapeshifter represents the loss of dignity and the descent into a primal, mud-dwelling state that remains one of our most deep-rooted cultural taboos. In more modern times, sightings of pigmen have popped up in urban legends across the United States. Take the legend of the Pigman of Vermont, for example. Locals tell stories of a teenager who went missing on Halloween in the 1950s and returned as a feral, pig-faced creature living in the woods behind an old high school. Or the Pigman of Cannock Chase in England, a recurring figure in local paranormal reports. These modern stories often strip away the magic of ancient folklore and replace it with something even more grounded, a feral human or a strange biological mutation, proving that even in our scientific age, the fear of the pigman refuses to die out. Skeptics, of course, have their own theories. They point to the fact that wild boars are naturally aggressive and can grow to massive sizes. A hiker catching a glimpse of a large boar through thick brush could easily misinterpret its size and posture, especially in the dark. There's also the medical condition known as hypertrichosis, or even certain skin diseases that could make a person appear monstrous to superstitious villagers in the past. But for those who claim to have looked into those human-like eyes in the middle of a dark forest, no scientific explanation is enough to erase the chilling reality of what they saw. To them, the pig shapeshifter is very real, and it's still out there. Whether it's a ghost story, a misunderstood animal, or a true supernatural anomaly, the legend of the pig shapeshifter serves as a reminder that the world is much stranger than we often care to admit. It challenges our sense of safety and forces us to look at the woods and our neighbors a little differently. What do you think? Is there something prowling the outskirts of our towns, or is it all just a trick of the light and a vivid imagination? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you enjoyed this journey into the dark side of folklore, don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates. Stay safe out there, and maybe keep your doors locked tonight.